Hey everybody, welcome to a rather comprehensive walkthrough of the game. This is going to be a fairly long video because I'm going to be doing some explanations along the way, and it's going to be a full end-to-end from the very beginning of the game to where I have the content right now, which is probably about a third of the way through level 1. This is probably going to be one of the only videos that I do that it's got like a walkthrough of this nature because I don't want to like spoil the game for everybody. So more than likely what will wind up happening is that I'll have further videos later on down the road that are only going to showcase like, some really nifty new things, like when I add some puzzles and stuff like that. I might showcase some of that stuff. But as far as like a walkthrough is concerned, this is probably going to be the one and only one. So if you don't want to have spoilers, then I would recommend not watching this video. But bear in mind, it's only going to be for, like I said, the very first third of the level. So not going to be spoiling a whole heck of a lot. As a matter of fact, there's going to be at least one thing that I'll mention later on down the road when we get there, where I'm not going to spoil one specific thing, which is kind of like one of the puzzles that you have to figure out early on in level 1. So yeah, with that said, let's just go ahead and get started, and I'll show you the opening menu here. And by the way, at first the music and stuff like that's going to be kind of up loud, but I'll turn it down later on because I want to be able to communicate, and it's really loud in my headset here. So first off, we got the main menu here, and if you saw some of the earlier iterations of this, then you're probably familiar with it. We got some interesting effects that I thought, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty proud of this. I think it's kind of an interesting way to open the game, where you actually have an introduction with the main character, Elowen, where she's obviously terrified, and rightly so, a monstrously huge creature, wandering through this cave that she finds herself in. So yeah, just to kind of showcase a little bit of stuff, I have all the typical stuff that you got for remapping controls, and I will have a few localization. At least that's the goal right now, is I do want to get some localization for some of the major languages that are out there that really are enthusiastic about RPGs. So yeah, you can see, like, we got the control here. You can control the master audio and all the other individual stuff. Like I said, I will be coming back here just to lower the music volume as we play through, because otherwise, like I said, it'll be a little bit loud. I'm sure that you probably enjoy the music when you're playing the game, but when I'm trying to record the video, it doesn't make much sense to have it up that loud. So yeah, let's go ahead, and I didn't really change anything, so we'll just discard that. Let's go ahead and get started, and I won't say anything during the open introduction. And by the way, this is the very first time that I'm really showing everything from end to end with the actual shipping version of the game. So this is not a proof of concept anymore. This is actually the way that the game will play, unless I may make some minor adjustments, but for right now, this is the way things are going to look and play. So that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you go ahead, like I said, go through the opening intro and everything like that, all the way up to actually starting the game.
This is the story of Elowen, a mischievous young woman who grew up as an orphan in the small village of Hollowdale. Seemingly always in trouble, today is the day where Elowen may have taken things a bit too far. Let us join Elowen now and watch the story begin to unfold.
Okay, so that was the opening intro. Kind of explains, how Elowen wound up in the predicament that she's in. Oh, and by the way, Elowen, this the character that we're seeing right here, this is just a placeholder. So when I said that this, I think I said everything is not a placeholder, but this is a placeholder. Oh, I said a proof of concept, right? So this is placeholder right now. I do have a character, another main character. It's custom made for the game. That's in flight right now. So as soon as I get that delivery, I'll be able to go ahead and replace this character with the actual character who looks, the way that it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look like, the splash screen where you saw the blonde character. It's going to look like her. And I also have some screenshots and stuff like that. And I think I have a little animated, video that I generated just to kind of showcase, like, the main character in motion. So yeah, that'll be coming. So first off, you can see we start off with a quest that kind of introduces you to some of the mechanics, which is, for the most part, the game comprises exploration, some puzzle solving, and then combat, right? So that's going to be the gist of it. Pretty much all the RPG elements that make up most of the RPGs that are out there. One of the things that I really am striving for in this game, though, is a lot of lore. Like, I want to have a lot of just really some like the impression that when you're walking through the labyrinth, that there's a lot of ancient history, that's packed into the place. Some of it known, a lot of it is just lost over the course of history and time. I kind of draw some of that inspiration from Tolkien, right? Because Tolkien, in his work, there's a lot of things where he just, as like characters are walking through areas, they ask questions of like Gandalf or whomever, Strider, and ask questions like, what was this? And they don't really remember, like, oh, it's an ages past, there's things that happened and whatever. So you're going to get a lot of that in here, and it'll kind of allude to some of the backstory. And some of it, like I said, will be explained, some of it won't be. So hopefully you get that impression. And if you really, really like games that have like a lot of lore and a lot of story building, then this is going to be the game for you. So yeah, we'll start off right here. We got rock bottom research. You get rewards. It shows you, some of the stuff that you get. And I guess I should probably, before we get too far, I'll show you some of the panels that are in the game. So you got your inventory. Right now we don't have anything, of course, but the inventory also gives you a quick heads up of your hit points and your magic points, because when you do have inventory like magic potions or health potions, it's a good way for you to just kind of see, like, hey, how many potions do I need to consume? And so that way, well, for one thing, you can't overshoot, but you also don't want to have, like, 19 out of 20 hit points and consume a health potion, because that's going to be kind of a waste. So there'll be other ways for you to kind of top off your hit points and magic points and stuff like that too, that don't revolve around potions, except for magic points. Magic points there's two ways of doing it. And none of them are available. Well, one of them is available during combat. So I'm probably starting to ramble a little bit. So let me just get back on track here, which was showing you all the panels. Of course, P is your pause menu. Let's see, you got your journal, which is right now empty until we start like exploring stuff. The journal is kind of like interesting, like things you've ran into during your exploration down here. And then, of course, you got your quest log, so that way you can kind of see where you're at, what you need to do, and what you have done. When we start doing quests and rack up a bunch of quests, they'll all show up here. You can click on them to see what you did. So right now we just got the one that we're doing. This is your achievements panel. There's going to be a lot of achievements in the game. Right now there's just these right here. But this will be, there'll be a lot more. Like, there'll be a lot more per level ones. Like, the ones we have here, there's a few that are level, where you can tell that there's a difference between a level achievement and a game-wide achievement. So the top one right here, Botanical Boss, that's an example of a game-wide achievement, where, these achievements are going to be spread throughout the whole, like, game. So you got to really hunt this stuff down to try and discover every single instance of them. But these are the ones that, anything that says where it's like a something level, that's a level-wide achievement. So you can get those achievements inside the level that you're currently in. Like Treasure of the Dark, Get Sacked. These are both achievements that you can get inside the Into the Dark level, which is the very first starting level, which is the one that we're in right now. So yeah, I think that was, oh, the character panel, right? So you got your character panel, shows, again, this placeholder character, but it'll be replaced by the actual main character. So it shows your hit points and your percentage that you got. So right now we've got no XP because we haven't done anything yet. And power is kind of like, kind of an arching concept of just maximizing your damage output, no matter what the source is. So if your power goes up, your spell output will also be more potent, and your combat, your melee attacks will also be more potent as well. So let's go ahead and start going, and we'll just start. Oh, I guess one of the things I said was I was going to lower the volume so that way I'm not getting blown out here by the background music. Okay, so we can go ahead and start. We'll start examining the dead wolf, and yeah.
Well, at least that giant wolf won't bother me, or anyone else ever again.
And spacebar exits out of just about every single thing that you're going to be in. So if you're in a dialogue, or if you're in a menu, like, you know, you're in here, you can press spacebar and that exits you out of it. So yeah, right now we do have new journal entries. So you can see right here that found the wolf that was chasing her. So obviously it fell down and died, and Elowen survived. So I guess that's really good news, because otherwise it would really be a disaster to have to fight a giant wolf down here when you don't even have a weapon. So yeah, and you can also see that we've made some progress here. We can see this is grayed out now because we already examined the dead wolf. So now we got to examine some of the other things that are in the area. So everything that you can interact with, by the way, will have, it's kind of like some of the other games you might have come across where, you know, you have a little indication where you see the little circle that lets you know that that little dancing circle is an indicator of anything you can interact with. And when you get close enough, there'll be a little marquee that pops up like you can see here, and it'll tell you what key you can press to kind of, like, you know, interact with it.
What interesting formations. These seem to be numerous in number.
Okay, and we got another journal entry. And by the way, anything like that happens, whether it's unlocking an achievement or if you progress and get a new journal entry, it'll kind of pop up at the top of the screen there. So now you can see that we got the stalagmites that we found also here. And then here we got one of our first achievements, which we'll go ahead and get that one unlocked.
What odd-looking fungi. Something tells me that snacking on these would be one of the last things a person would ever do.
Okay, there we go. New achievement unlocked that you see up there on the top tells you, like, what when you unlocked it, what the achievement is, and the goals that you need in order for you to get the achievement completed in total. So right now we got fungi. This is that one right here. You see we got 1 out of 15. And this is, again, it's one of those achievements that is going to be game-wide. So you won't be able to complete this achievement just inside this level. This is something that you're going to have to find and search and hunt down. Again, you know, this is, of course, it's like other games where I want to kind of like ease you into things, right? So that way you kind of get an idea of what you're in for. Which is why a lot of these things are just like right here, right? So that way you can kind of get some of these achievements unlocked and start progressing along the way. And so we got another one here.
Such unique plants down here. I've never seen anything quite like these.
Okay, so we completed the rock bottom research, as well as we unlocked the botanical boss achievement with that last one. So we've moved on now. We're on to the next quest in line, which is the Sword in the Stone. Get some more experience points, and we have to examine the skeleton near the cave-in. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. And we can also see that we have botanical boss and fungi. And by the way, one of the things I didn't mention yet, but I don't think that there's a single bit of dialogue in the game so far that does not have voice associated with it. So that way everything that you got in here, and you can skip it too, by the way, like if you can go back and examine stuff, and if it's just a repetition of something, you just press spacebar and exit out of it immediately.
Well, at least...
See, you can just press spacebar, so that way you can, if you find, like if you forget something, you can kind of go back, and if you read it really quickly before she finishes saying it, you don't have to sit there and wait for her to speak. You could just advance through things quickly if you want to. Okay, so here's the skeleton. Yeah, we can examine that. And here's the cave-in that was being discussed. And you can see that there's looks like a sword stuck in a rock. That's weird. We should find out about that. Okay, so we got this skeleton here, and we're supposed to examine it. So let's do that.
This is simultaneously disturbing and alarming. Whatever happened to this person happened down here. I knew it could be dangerous, and this old skeleton confirms it. I'll have to be exceptionally careful if I'm to survive this ordeal. I see there's a sword pinned between some of those boulders over there. I could really use one of those, as I'm not sure what's down here.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Okay, so now we've just completed that, and we're on to the sword and the stone. And yeah, we can look at our log file so far, and we can see that we finished rock bottom research, and we're on to the sword and the stone, where we examine the skeleton, and now we should pull out that sword. So like there are some of these where there's additional dialogue. So like if you examine the skeleton again,
I don't think it's a good idea to disturb these remains.
so it's not always going to be just a repetition of things. There will be instances where you can examine things again and maybe get some additional information. So speaking of additional information, you can see that there's two different things that you can do with the sword here. You can either examine it, or you can pull out the sword. So there's some of these things where when you take an action on it, that's going to be the only time that you'll get a shot at doing something. And this is one of those times where you'll probably want to go ahead and examine. I mean, we're going to do this. We're going to examine it first, and then we're going to pull it out, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
This sword appears to have been lodged between these massive boulders for quite a while. I believe with enough force I might be able to pry it loose.
Right. So yeah, so once you pull it loose, that's it. You lose your chance to examine it. So it's up to you. You know, this game is mostly like exploration, like I said. So I would, you know, if you're really into exploration games, you're gonna love this, and I would recommend that you go ahead and examine things first before you take action, because it might be something that you won't get a chance to go back and get an explanation on things. Let's go ahead and pull out the sword. Wow.
It's a good thing those boulders collapsed inwards. Otherwise, my efforts to escape would have been cut very short.
Yeah, so completed the sword and the stone now. And so now we're on to minor inconvenience and more experience points. We get a little bit of gold for reward also. And we're supposed to find anything unusual. So let's go ahead and move on here. It looks like we got a treasure chest here that we can interact with. Yeah, so we go ahead and just... we got some health potions, some magic potions. We got some gold that's laying on the ground too. Let's go ahead and pick up that gold. And now we can look at our inventory and see that, yeah, we got 14 gold, we got 3 health potion vials and magic potion vial. And this will all come in handy, and actually, you'll more than likely need this. So definitely, I would recommend that you hold on to health potions and all that stuff. So we got another plant here.
Such unique plants down here. I've never seen anything quite like these.
So this is another achievement, and this one is, we already had unlocked it, so now you can see that we got botanical boss, so many rare plants. We've got 2 out of 15 now, so you can take a look here and see that, yeah, we're 2 out of 15 on that. So again, you want to kind of look out for those circles, because those circles, you know, if you're not really looking on the edge of things, you could miss it. So you want to make sure that you explore stuff. And there's more than likely going to be things that are very well hidden in the game. So these are really kind of like, I'm just kind of giving you guys this like right out of the gate. These are like really easy ones to find. The other ones are going to be a little bit more difficult, and it's going to require some work. I mean, you know, to complete an achievement is, you know, it should feel like you're actually accomplishing something. And I think that it's got to be a little bit of a challenge in order for you to feel, you know, something like you actually made an achievement. So we got a roaming NPC here. You can see these are the roaming enemy placeholders. You know, what winds up happening is that every combat encounter that you have, for the most part, I'm not going to say that every single one of them is going to be like this, but this is kind of like a typical combat encounter where it's there as soon as the level loads. You know, these NPCs are just going to wander around until you get within line of sight of them, so they can see you, and they will chase you down. They run faster than you. You cannot get past them. You can try, And no, there's no hidden achievement or anything crazy like, oh, did I say hidden achievement? Not for this though. I'm not doing any kind of like silly stuff. If I say this, there's no hidden achievement tied with it. I'm not saying it to, you know, try and throw you off the trail or something silly like that. That would be messed up. Like that, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But this is, I'm saying you can't get past it because you can't get past them. You really, really can't. Like there's actually, you can't see it, but there's actually a hidden trigger box. That also, you know, once you get, like, you can see the stalagmite there and the other stalagmite, I'm pointing, but you can't, but like the stalagmite that's right here and the stalagmite that's over there, and as a matter of fact, all the way across the width of the tunnel here, there is a collision box. So even if you do manage somehow to slip past the rat while he's not looking at you, and he doesn't turn and see you or anything like that, as soon as you hit that collision box, he's going to hear you and run for you. And like I said, they run faster than you. You can't get past them. It's just, you know, you got to get into some combat. So let's go ahead. I'll try to get past them. It's really hard to like time it because they do move pretty consistently. So I'm not going to, I'll try it, but it's very, very difficult to actually get. Okay, maybe I might be able to, yeah, here we go. Yeah, see, that was actually, I think I hit the trigger box. Again, they're invisible, so you can't see them, but I know where it is. I'm pretty sure that I hit the trigger box. Okay, so now we're in for some combat. We'll go ahead and we'll open up with Ember, which, oh, I should have shown you guys. I'll show it to you in a second here. But you got a combat log down here that tells you everything that happens during the turns, what round it is, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you have all the spells here. Like if you hover over it for a certain length of time, it'll show you like what it does. This one is Ember. It's the very first spell that you get right out of the gate. Costs you 1 MP. It's the level 1 MP. It does 5 points of damage, and almost without. There are some circumstances, but for the most part, if a spell will land, it will do full damage every time. There's no like, you know, it'll do 1 to 5. No, it does the full amount of damage every single time. It also lets you know that you know, it's a single target, because you do have AoE spells as well. The type of effect that it does, which is actually the type of spell it is, which is damaging, and the effect that it puts on an enemy. In this case, there's no effect. There's no duration because it's not an overtime effect or anything like that. And it has a little description saying like an Ember of Fire, which strikes a target. You can see here that all the other ones are not unlocked yet, so that's why you see that these are just like little placeholders. You can barely see. There's little icons that you can kind of make out, so it kind of gives you a preview of what those spells are, kinda, right? Kind of teases you. And then if you want to get out of this, you just click on this right here, the little eject looking button thing, and that'll get you back out. And then so these are your elements. We have 5 different elements in this game: fire, earth, did I call it air or wind? Oh, I'm sorry, this is water. And then I think I called it air, I think. I don't know. I completely forgot. It's either air or wind. And then lightning is your last one. And they all have different little cool like looking background effects, right? So you can kind of see like, there's the earth one, kind of slow, like, you know, because it's earth, it doesn't really move too much. And you got your water, and then air is kind of fast and cool. And some of them are more. Some of them do have like buffs. Like fire doesn't have anything that's full-on damage. Earth has a slow effect. Water, you can heal yourself when you have to hit the level appropriate, you know, for unlocking the spell. But there's a healing spell in there. Wind or air has a haste spell that you can put on yourself. So yeah, and I don't think there's none for, again, with lightning. It's just full-on damaging stuff. Some of them have more AoE stuff. I think that air, it might have 1 single target, but the rest of them are all AoE, I think, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I wrote these up, but anyway, so you already saw Ember, so let's go ahead and do a melee attack. Melee attack, again, all these things you can hover over them to see what they do. This one's a health potion. You'll get restore 25 hit points. This one is a magic potion. It'll restore 10 magic points. For this one, it's sword swipe. It does 2 to 5. So this is where the random comes in. 2 to 5, and there is kind of a hidden 10% chance that you might miss against enemies. So bear that in mind. This is a weight. This is more of a tactical thing. So you know, more than likely you're almost in almost every situation you're not going to want to wait. I'm going to have a use for this though, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to figure that out on your own. You won't see it in this because the enemies that you would need to wait for don't exist yet, or situations that you'd have to wait during combat. They don't exist yet, but I have plans. So, and then if you don't want to be in combat, you can go ahead and flee. Or I should say, you could try to attempt it, right? Because there is, I think I have it. I believe that I have. It's a chance for you to flee. I'm almost positive I wrote this up months ago, but there's a chance. Like if you're the same level, I think you have like a 50-50 chance of escaping. If an enemy is a level above you, your chances start going down like dramatically. It's a pretty steep curve. And the same thing is in reverse. Like if there's an enemy that is below your level, you have a greater chance to be able to flee from it, all the way down to like I think it's like if the level separation is something like 4 levels between you and the enemy, and you flee, it's like 100% chance to get out of it. So that way, you know, if you don't feel like wasting your time because maybe the experience points that you get from that fight is just not worth it, you can go ahead and flee out of the fight and say like, I just don't want to waste my time. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do a sword swipe and see how we do with that. I guess this guy, let's just go ahead, I'm going to wait, because every enemy has their own special kind of attack, and with rats, they have a slowing effect that they can, you know, if they decide to use it, they'll put a slow effect on you, which causes you to lose a turn every so often. I don't remember what the percentage is off the top of my head. It's kind of a low percentage, so if they slow you, you might lose a turn, like maybe once every 4 turns or something along those lines. But the very first time that they apply it, there's a very high likelihood that they'll go ahead and be able to do a second follow-up attack, which is why this is kind of scary for you if you know, you're in a pickle and they've got slow on you. Yep, he just used it. So you can see now they don't have any. So the special attacks for enemies, that's what their MP is used for. Their magic points are consumed whenever they do their special attacks. So you can see here that if you. And I'm going to change this. This is one of the things that it's going to be a custom toolkit tip right now. It's just using the standard one that is available. But you can see right now, if you hover over an effect that you have on you, you can see what that effect is. This one's a speed slowing effect, has been applied, causing turns to be skipped occasionally, which is, you know, so you've been slowed. I think, did he do a double attack? No, he only did just, he just did, and by the way, the special attack, you can see it down here, right? It's called Plague Bite, and it slows me for 3 rounds. So that's one of the good things that this combat log is for, is if you're ever wondering, like, what the heck was that just got applied, you can kind of look down here and figure that out. So let's go ahead. More than likely, we're going to kill the guy at this point, because he's only got 2 hit points left. And yeah, he got hit by 4 hit points, so it's dead. Okay, so we got our loot from the fight. We got 20 gold, another health potion, and 25 experience points. And that caused us to level up. So now we are level 2. We got 50 hit points. And oh, by the way, one of the things too that happens in lots of RPGs, you know, this one is not really any different. This one is when you level up, if you have damage, used up MP or whatever, it restores everything to full. So it's kind of like, hey, you know, congratulations for leveling up, topping all your stats up, or topping all the stats off. So that way you don't have to like get out of a fight when you level up. I feel like that's kind of a reward for doing a good job in combat. Okay, so now we got a power of 12. So that, like I said, that does affect how much output you get. So it's starting to get boosted up. And you'll see that in the next fight, where you can kind of look at Sword Swipe. Sword Swipe, remember, I think it did 5 to 10 at level 1. So when we get on our next fight and we hover over Sword Swipe, you'll see that it actually has been boosted. So now we're at 4% into level 2. We've got 400 experience points to go. As far as, oh, by the way, this is a good way to preview what you get. So, you know, they're grayed out because you can't access them, but you can see exactly, like, you know, Terror Ward is that one Earth spell that you get. that will do, it'll boost your defenses by 20% for 4 rounds. So yeah, you can kind of go through these and figure out what you get at what level. It tells you what level you get. That's a level 12 spell, so got a ways to go before you get that. But yeah, all right. And we have over here, this is a loot sack, and we can examine that and get some gold out of there. And that is also an achievement. You probably might have realized that though, because we got the Get Sacked achievement, which is exactly what this is. And it is the level wide one, so there will be 5 loot sacks that you can find inside this level, and when you get all 5 of them, that completes the achievement. Same thing with the Treasures of the Dark, which when you open up the treasure chest, you'll go ahead and get your treasure and advance that as well. Okay, so go ahead and examine the fungus
what
here.
odd-looking fungi. Something tells me...
Okay, so she says the same thing, but this is part of that achievement. Remember, we got the fungi achievement, and then that's another one. So again, I'm kind of giving out a couple of these, just kind of easy ones, because it's level 1, so I figure, hey, I want you to kind of get the idea that, hey, this is how the achievements advance. And here we got another achievement. This is another one that we got here, what's tied to these crystals.
These are some of the most exquisite and massive crystal structures I've ever seen. This place may be dark and dangerous, but finds like this one are still a wonder to behold.
Right. So yeah, another new achievement unlocked. This one's called Crystal Clear. You probably saw that one. That's the one that is over here. So you can see we got 1 out of 10 for that. Again, this is another one that is a game wide. So you have to hunt down these crystals all over the labyrinth. Okay, so we're still on minor inconvenience. We're supposed to find anything unusual, and what we got over here.
Is that a torch in the distance? It looks like something. Possibly a goblin is walking around over there. I should see if it knows of a way out.
Okay. Alright, that completes minor inconvenience. We discovered a wandering goblin. That's kind of weird. So we got some experience points and some gold for that. That's great. Okay, so we should speak to the wandering goblin and get his help. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go.
Oi, what are you doing? You overworlders have no business down here.
It's not like I'm here by choice. I was chased by a wolf who knocked me down a hole.
Likely story. I see that necklace you're wearing. Who do you think you're fooling?
I don't understand. What does my necklace have to do with anything?
She says she doesn't know while wearing that glowing artifact. Listen, as long as you're wearing that awful artifact, nobody down here is going to trust you.
I can't just get rid of it. It's my only source of light. Why do you dislike it so much?
Bah, it ain't my job to be a historian. You want to hear more? You're going to have to make it worth my while. You help me out and find a special coin I lost somewheres in here a while ago, and I'll help you out. What do you say?
Okay, so this is where you start making some choices. It's kind of linear, so it's like you're gonna have to help them out. Let's just say that we say no, right?
Why should I help you? I don't even know you.
Suit yourself. Have fun trying to get out of here on your own.
And he is not lying. You will need his help. You're not going to get out of here without his help. And that's not me. Again, I'm not throwing out any kind of I'm not throwing out any kind of misinformation to try and make things harder for you guys. You literally are going to have to get his help. So you're going to want to go ahead and talk to him again.
Mm-hmm. Had a change of heart, have you?
So the other thing too is that when things have a quest, like a decision has a quest tied to it, you can go ahead and when you hover over the option, you can also use W and S to to select it, by the way. This will all be able to be mapped to a controller as well, because I know a lot of people that play RPGs do like controllers. So I will have controller support. I don't have it just yet, but I'm gearing up the UI to have support for a controller. So yeah, when you hover over an option that gives you a quest, you'll be able to see like, hey, it starts a quest, coin capers, find the goblin's lost coin, and it tells you what the rewards are. So that way, for this one, it's a mainline quest, and I'm also going to have a way for you to be able to tell which one is a main quest versus, side quests that are optional, because there will be optional quests. I don't have any in here just yet. Every quest that's in here so far is going to be a mainline quest, so just bear that in mind as we're walking through here. I don't know if I'll add them retroactively. I think I'm probably going to keep this everything that we got that you're going to see so far up to the endpoint. I think that will probably all be the same. I think the optional quest will come a little bit later on down the line for level 1. So for right now, we'll just go ahead and say, yeah, we'll help.
Yes. I don't think I can get out without your help.
Come to your senses then. Good. Now go find me coin and bring it back. Then I'll answer your questions.
Okay. So we spoke with the goblin, and we finished that, and we accept the next quest. And that is coin capers. We got to find the goblin special coin. You can try and talk to him again, but he's not going to be too receptive.
You got news on me coin?
I haven't been able to find it just yet.
Thought I told you already. I got nothing to say until you find me coin.
Yeah, he really, really wants his coin. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I did say that there were going to be some things that I wouldn't spoil for you outright. This is one of those cases, because I have kind of just a temporary coin that I put right here. This will not be in the game. You're actually going to have to find where the coin is. It's actually in the level, so, again, I'm not throwing you, just trying to, like, obfuscate things and throw you off the trail or anything like that. This is just here specifically so I could show you, for one thing, it's for my own development purposes, so I could just kind of quickly iterate and go through things, and also, for showing the video as well. So when you get it, you'll be able to go back to him and talk to him.
You got news on me coin?
I think I found your coin. Does this look familiar?
I can't believe ye found it. Well done, lass. Maybe you ain't so bad after all, in spite of that thing around your neck. Here's a reward for you. This'll help you avoid trouble with other gobbies you run into down here.
Okay, so this bears explanation because we're not there yet. This is one of those things where I am waiting on the new character, because the whole idea here is that when you first start the game, and it's hard to tell because of the angle, but the placeholder character has a belt on her hat, and the new character will also have a belt on her hat. But when you first start the game, she will not have a belt on her hat. So this is where you get the hat belt, and it's well, he'll explain to you in a second here, but I just want to explain that because you might be saying like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" He didn't give anything to you. Okay, so we gave him his coin. Okay, so we got some experience, and now we got the next quest, which is Deja Goblin, and we're supposed to speak to him again to find out about a way out of here.
Well, you earned me trust. What did you want to know?
Who are you?
My name's Sickleskit.
It's very nice to meet you, Sickleskit. My name's Elowen.
Okay, so now we are able to talk to him a little bit more and find out some information about here. And this is like the optional stuff, like where are we? What about my necklace? This is the one, begins the quest, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And you can also just exit if you don't really want to say anything. You say, God, I don't want to talk to you just now. So this is where, like I mentioned, lore building, storytelling. This is all going to be. I'm not going to say all. There will be environmental storytelling, and then there will be things you discover along the way, and then interactions that you have with NPCs. This is one of those cases where you can find out some information about the labyrinth just by talking to Sickleskit here.
Where are we?
You're standing in the very outer wing of a vast system of tunnels and chambers. Very easy to get yourself lost if you're unfamiliar. Also easy to get yourself hurt, too. You're sure to find more gobbies like me who will be mostly indifferent to you, thanks to that belt I gave you.
Yeah, so that's why I said, like, you guys might be wondering what belt. They didn't give him any belt. That'll come. There will be a little exchange between Sickle Skid and Elowin, where Sickle Skid gives her the belt, and she's going to put the belt on her hat, and then boom, she's got this, like, it's kind of a symbol from the goblins that says, like, hey, and because they really don't, he'll fill. I'm kind of like saying what he's going to be saying, so let's just go ahead and go from here.
But there's gobbies out there ain't like most. Evil they is, and warlike. They ain't all that's out there neither. They's feral wildlife for sure, but there's plenty more much worse found in the depths. But I ain't enjoy talking about them. They make my skin crawl.
Okay, and then, he made a big fuss about her having that necklace, and so why don't we find out why he's so averse to that necklace?
You kept referring to my necklace as if it's something you really don't like. Why is that?
You really are clueless about that thing, eh? Alright then. That revolting piece of jewelry you've got looks just like pieces worn by a bunch of filthy slave drivers. Gobby mums tell their youngin' stories of ages past when us gobbies weren't free at all. We was enslaved by evil beings and forced to work down here and dig up all sorts of stuff they had an eye for. That was all long ago, and none of us was alive back then. I don't rightly know what happened, but them evil slavers are nowhere to be found now, thank the gods. From what the stories say, part of their power came from necklaces that have been said look like the one you're wearing, glowing and all. Not to worry now, though. You found Sickleskid's coin, and I can tell you ain't a bad sort. I knew you was in trouble the moment I saw you, but now you've proved yourself and got that belt, most gobbies ain't likely to just outright attack you now. See, you ain't the only one with artifacts, and that gobby belt is one. We gobbies know anyone with a goblin artifact is like to not do anything stupid to us, and we return the favor in kind. Except them evil gobbies, of course.
Okay. So now we can say, how do I get out? And again, they'll tell you like what the quest is and the rewards that you get from it.
I need to find my way out of here and get back to the surface. Do you know how I can do that?
Ain't no reason for us gobbies to leave, so I don't rightly know how to get to the surface. But you're gonna need to get through that door over yonder, using sort of a dead end right now. I hate to admit it, but I was a fool and let that stone door shut. It's locked up now, and the button to get it open again seems to have recently been buried beneath a rock slide. Us gobbies can survive a very long while without nothing to eat or drink, so I was waiting for someone to come along and open the door. Sooner or later they'll come. Only been waiting about 3 moons so far, I reckon.
You've been in here for 3 months. It's all well and good for you that you won't starve or die of thirst anytime soon, but unfortunately I can't survive long without sustenance.
I see. Well, that does present a bit of a problem. My advice is poke around here and see if you can't find a way to clear that rock fall out of the way. If you can get to that button, you can get us both out of here.
Okay. And so again, you can talk to him, but he's just going to ask you about to find the button.
Any luck on that button?
I'm afraid not. It seems to be eluding me, but I won't give up.
Okay. I'm going to lower the music. I still think the music might be a bit loud. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got to spot the rockfall. Again, this is spoiler territory because I know where the rockfall is. Go figure. Maybe you can figure it out on your own, but we're gonna spoil it.
This rock seems to be holding up the rest. Let me see if I can pull it from the rubble.
Okay, so now we got a little. So yeah, you can see that there is a suspicious rock down there, and now we're on Deadbolt or Alive. We need to remove the large rock to collapse the stones obstructing the tunnel and remove the suspicious rock. If you look at the quest here, this is what we've done so far for Deadbolt or Alive. And again, you can see all the ones that we've done already. We've already done 6 quests. You know, so there'll be a lot of questing in this game. So if you love questing, this is the game for you. Questing and lore and story building and a little bit of combat. Well, not a little bit. There's going to be a decent amount of combat as well. So let's go ahead and remove this.
Glad that's over. I'm surprised the cavern didn't collapse in the process. Now on to find that button.
All right, so we unblocked the way, and we do have some interesting glowing mushrooms past the door. Let's go ahead and see what that's all about.
Oh my. This mushroom looks exceptional, and the scent is amazing. I feel energized just being near it. Seeing as how there's so many fungi down here, there's bound to be more of these. I wonder if others have different effects.
Right. So these will definitely be useful. Let me. I think that you'll figure that out pretty quickly, but it just kind of goes without saying that. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. Okay. Well, now we got a counter that's counting down at the upper left-hand corner, and it looks like a little guy running. So what does this do? That's right. It makes you run a little bit faster. So that way you can kind of get through longer portions of the level. And it stacks too. So now you can see she's running even faster. There's a maximum speed cap, so you can't just like run at lightning speed everywhere. But this is definitely comes in handy when you've got like a large amount of area to traverse. As we run down here, we're going to come to our next combat encounter, which is another rat that you can see right here. Again, you will not be able to get past them. Okay, so this time we've got 2 rats that we got to fight. So the stakes have kind of gone up, and they're also level 2 rats. So got more hit points, they've got more MP, and there's 2 of them, so they can really stack up. Now I said stack. That's the wrong word to use right now. Slow does not stack. Either when you're applying it to enemies or when enemies are applying it to you, so you don't have to worry about like having like 20 stacks of slow and you are getting every single one of your turns skipped, and yeah, that would be a recipe for disaster. So I'm not cruel, I am reasonable, or at least I try to be. So as I mentioned, you could see that sword swipe is now doing from 3 to 12, not just from 5 to 10. So it's a little bit more of a dilemma. Like, do you use Ember, which is going to guarantee you to land 5 damage every time, or do you take your chances on maybe getting more damage with sword swipe? So, but one of the things that happen, and this is one of the things I will be adding, is that when you level up, every single level that you get, you unlock a new spell. And I think that I do want to add a little bit of a UI element that'll show you like, hey, you leveled up, congratulations, you unlocked, whatever. So for this one, it's going to kind of go in order. So every time that you level, you get 1 new elemental spell. Not per level. You don't get it like all of them. Like it'll just kind of be sequential, right? So you start off with fire, Ember, right? That's right out of the gate. When you level up to level 2, you get an Earth spell. You get your very first Earth spell, which is Stonebind, which actually slows the enemies. So now we can slow these guys. It's not just a one-way street where they slow us. We can slow them as well. And it's an actually pretty powerful spell, and this should scale all the way to the end of the game as well, because it's by percentage. It's not just by a set amount, right? So it's a 35% slow effect for 5 rounds. So that's, as you see, you'll see that it does make a big difference, and it can be the thing that helps you to win a combat encounter. So we're going to go ahead and right out of the gate just slow these. It's a single target spell, unfortunately. But again, it'll be worth it. Now that we have more than one enemy too, I'll show you that you can either use it right now. This will also be mapped on the controller, but you can use either the arrow keys to kind of like go back, the left and right arrow keys to select your target, or you can use your mouse and click on the enemy itself to select it if you want. It's up to you, So we already have 1 enemy slowed. Let's go ahead and get the other enemy slowed as well. And let's go back to this guy here, and we'll go ahead and target him with some sword swipes. We're getting a little low on health. I certainly do not want to die here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit a health potion. I got slowed again, which is no fun, but it happens. Good. Okay, we got that one killed. And when you kill an enemy, it'll automatically pick the next enemy in the line for you, so that way you don't have to worry about, like, you know, having to automatically or having manually select it. It'll just automatically select the next enemy that's alive. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way. That's a pretty good hit. Down for 11. Alright. Win another encounter. Okay. So we got 35 gold, another health potion vial, and 75 experience points. So, of course, you know, when you're fighting more enemies, would it be worth it? Probably not. I was just thinking about would it be worth going back up and getting that haste shroom, but it's not going to be. Okay, so right now we're still questing to get the button. You can see that you know, we're like 32% here, 10% with MP. So what we can do is there's more than just the speed effect mushrooms. Like this one right here is a hit point mushroom. So you can see right there, I just got 16 hit points added. So now we're at 64%. And I don't recall if I don't think I said that they respawn yet. I know I said that on part of a video that I was recording earlier. But the mushrooms do respawn. They're on a 30-second timer. So that way you can go ahead and wait around if you need to. So now we're 5 out of 10, about 50%. Now we're 7 out of 10. So we're going to go ahead and wait for these to respawn. I have good reason for that. Trust me. You will see. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to top up on these. And by the way, you're going to want to try and only use the potions as much as possible, unless you wind up going into a town, because there will be NPCs that sell potions in the town. That's going to be one of the big things that you're going to use all your gold that you collect. You're going to use that to buy potions. And there'll be various levels of potions. So 7 out of 10. Holy shit. Okay, now we're 10. And when you're full, like health or MP, you can't use a shroom. So you'll notice that now I can walk through this one. It's a magic point mushroom. And since we're already full, you know, 100% right there on our MP, we are not going to get any activation out of those mushrooms. And now the health mushrooms respawn, so we can tag that again. And now we're 50 out of 50. And okay, so we're now 100% out of everything, which is great. Yeah, so when you're full on health and MP, like I said, the mushrooms won't do anything, so that way you can't do anything silly like just waste them by running into them and accidentally having to wait for the respawn. And we just saw, you know, the quest got updated, because with this quest, the trying to find the button, and I don't think I mentioned this either with the trying to find the suspicious rock, but there's a few tasks. Like when you get a quest and it asks you to do something that's called a task, on the find the suspicious rock, the task requires you to have line of sight to the rock fall, and not only do you have to have line of sight to the rock fall, but you also have to have your field of view with the rock, you know, the suspicious rock in your field of view. And then on top of everything else, there's the amount of illumination also plays into key, because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of dark. This is a room that's pretty well lit, but like up there it's a little bit darker. So the whole idea behind that is, like, you know, I know it's a fantasy game, but there's still some sorts of realistic things that just wouldn't make much sense. So like being able to find things when it's really super dark, that's going to be a lot harder. So there's an illumination value that goes along with things, right? So you got illuminance here. When, as you notice, as I'm kind of like got my back turned to the stalagmite, that the necklace light doesn't light it up. So that's going to be really low in illumination. But when you get closer, you know, it gets really well illuminated. And that's kind of the same thing with up there. As you're looking for the suspicious rock, you have to kind of get close enough for your necklace to also light it up, so that way you can see it in the dark, right? With something like this, it's a glowing, button here that just, I mean, you can't miss it. If it weren't for the fact that there's these stalagmites that are blocking the view here, you'd be able to activate that thing from way up inside that tunnel there, right? Because you'd be able to see it a mile away. So I try to, like, you know, keep some sort of like realism in mind as far as it, you know, relates to this fantasy world. So that explains why, you know, we just all you have to do is just kind of turn this corner here and get a line of sight with that button, and then, you know, you'll be able to go ahead and get close enough to activate the marquee and then push the button. So yeah, now we got the pulsating button. Again, this is one of those circumstances where you're going to want to examine first and then interact later. Well, actually on this one I think you can still examine it after it's done, because yeah, you'll see what happens. So we'll examine it.
Such a strange device. I wonder who made it. And I also wonder if it's worth anything.
Yeah, she's still got her thief mentality. You know, she, as you saw from the opening sequence there, she stole that necklace. So she's still looking around for things to take, and, you know, she's kind of a hopeless thief in that regard. So yeah, we'll go ahead and interact with the button now.
Well, the button's not lit anymore, so I suppose whatever its purpose was is fulfilled now. I should talk to Sickleskit again and let him know what happened.
Indeed. Okay, so like if you try to, like, as you can see, it's no longer glowing, and like the orb is not even visible anymore. So if you try to interact with it, you just kind of get that like little, you know, don't. That's the noise that you know that something is not in a state where you can do anything with it. You can't examine it again.
Such a strange device. I wonder who made it. And I also wonder if it's worth anything.
So she'll just kind of repeat what she said. Yeah, that's one of those circumstances where you can go back and get a little bit more information without having to worry about it, because some things, they just get destroyed after you use them. So we'll go ahead and take the items in this chest here, because as you can probably see, get that boost, speed buff also, just for the heck of it. Because as you can see, there's a monster that aggroed us. And yeah, this is one of the boss fights. So we're going to be fighting the Rat King now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, I'll just kind of give some tips. Slow him. Keep him slow. Because he hits very hard. You know, it's a random thing, but like his max damage is pretty lethal. So you're going to want to stay on top of it, keeping him slowed as much as you can. And as he's a giant rat, he can also slow you. So that's fun. Luckily I got 2 attacks in a row because I do have him slow. Like the player, like Elowin's slow is stronger than the NPC slow, at least for this guy. Again, I mean, that's one of the big reasons why you want to, you know, take advantage of those mushrooms when you can, because you want to have as many potions as you can going into these fights, because, you know, it's not going to be one of those kind of games that's going to be like insanely hard, but, you know, there's a good chance that you can die in these fights. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're keeping as much of an advantage on your side as possible. So again, his slow wore off, so I'm going to go ahead and reapply slow. Luckily, he's not hitting me for huge numbers, but he's still got a lot more HP than we do. Okay, so getting a little low. I'm going to go ahead and top it off. Just because, yeah, that would have been pretty dangerous right there. And that's the reason why you want to keep him slow. You get those 2 attacks in a row. That really helps out a lot. I think we can go ahead and get away with getting another sword swipe on him. Okay, now we're gonna want to hit a pot again. And he's not slowed anymore, so we're going to want to slow him again. Very low in MP. That's the last slow that we're going to be able to get. But we do have some magic pots, so if it comes down to it, I can go ahead and use a magic pot. But I will go ahead and top up HP again. Let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and do my magic pot now. I know he's getting low, but you know these fights can turn ugly really, really fast. And we're kind of getting a little low again. I know he's again. I'm gonna top it off. I'm not a big gambler. That's why I want to make sure, because there's a chance we could miss too, and like he could land something really hard. But he's looking pretty. He's in bad shape now. I am gonna slow him though, just because again those double attacks. I know he's really low. There's a good chance that we would probably be able to just finish him right off. But let's just see what happens. Okay, I think we can risk it. I think we can, he's only got 3. Yeah, okay, so we win. Yeah, this fight can be pretty if you if you get down on your luck with the random number generator gods and they do not smile upon you, that fight can be really, really tough. That's why, like I said, I can't stress it enough. Hold on to those pots whenever you can. Take advantage of those mushrooms because they will help you. Alright, so we got 35 gold, 5 health potions, because I'm kind of being generous at these lower levels because I know that fight's going to be tough, and I don't want to have you guys, you know, running around with hardly any health potions after that fight, because there will be more fights. And you got a whopping 225 hit points for, experience points for winning against the boss fight. And you actually get a bonus. I'll have to like do a little thing with the bonus XP, because if you notice, he was a level 3 boss fight, and you're still at level 2, so there's a little bit of a level difference, so you do get a little bit of a bonus. So instead of 225, we get like 240 something, if I recall. Yeah, 243 experience. And of course, we're gonna level up off that. So yeah, we're now at level 3. You can see we're at 100% with everything. Can't see it now, but you did get, you unlocked the healing spell, which is the first water spell that you get. So yeah, we don't need to worry about these. They're not going to do anything anyways because we're full on health. And that's the other thing too, is that one of the strategies that you can use, because as you can see, there is a magic shroom in here and 2 health shrooms. So if you're still low on health from that double rat fight, what you can do, instead of just waiting on these to respawn, you can go ahead and activate the door, which will cause the Rat King to blow out the all the stones that were blocking us here, and that'll give you access to behind here, where you know you saw that treasure chest that you can get, and the health shrooms and the magic shrooms. But you have to be careful because he has a very long. I purposely did this to where it's kind of risky to do this approach. He's got a very long line of sight, so he can see you from pretty far away. So make sure that as you're going over there, you're not coming way out here and just taking your time coming around. You're going to want to wait till he gets way up, maybe kind of far into that tunnel, and then sneak around. So that way, if he does turn around, he won't see you. You know, you got to really play it safe with this guy because, like I said, he's super fast and super mean. And, yeah, he will make a beeline for you. And if you're low in health, trying to, like, you know, do the technique that I'm talking about, and he catches you, you're probably not going to survive that fight. He will be a tough, even tougher fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and double up on the speed shroom, so that way she can hit max speed, so we can really blaze our way out of here. Get back up to Sickle Skit and let him know what happened. Why not? Pop this shroom and this shroom. So, like I said, it stacks. So now we have, like, when I hit that one mushroom, we had 50 seconds of speed buff. Alright, so we'll talk to him.
Any luck on that button?
Yes, I found the button and pressed that odd orb. It's not lit up anymore. Did I mention I had to fight a giant rat?
Excellent work, lass. Now we can both get out of this dead end. I'm going to head out as soon as I can.
Wait, you won't be coming with me?
I'm afraid not. I'm still doing a bit of research in here on these shimmering crystals. They's found in many places down in the tunnels, but some of the ones in this chamber have been reported as acting a mite bit strange. And I think it's important to figure out what's going on. Now look here, you was able to get past that rockfall and fight your way to that button. I think you're going to be fine without me. Just keep your eyes peeled and don't go poking around tunnels what look ominous. Take this key. You'll need it to open the door since it's activated now. In case you didn't notice, it's that glittering thing off in the distance. Good luck to ye.
Okay. So we finished the Dead or Alive quest. Got a little more experience points. And now we're on the quest DoorDash, and we need to go and unlock and open the door. Again, you can talk to him, and he does have just one last thing to say to you.
All right, off you go, lass. Something tells me you've just started a very long journey.
Yeah, he's not wrong on that one. I do plan on having a decent chunk of content for everybody to go through. So I'm just coming down here, pop these shrooms again. I know it might seem counterintuitive, but the door is a little bit of a ways. It does, those speed buffs really, I think, help to get you around a lot quicker, if you're so inclined. Okay, so here's the stone door, but we also have a couple of things down here that we can check out, right? So we got a damaged skeleton. What's that all about?
This is starting to become terrifying. This skeleton has visible damage, as if the person was attacked.
Okay, and we got got a dusty journal sitting down here. So again, you have environmental storytelling, so if you remember, there was a skeleton that was like right by the vertical shaft that Elwyn and the wolf fell down at the very beginning, and now here's another skeleton right here by the stone door. So maybe we want to find out what that's all about. Again, I like the lore building and the storytelling, so this is part of it.
Egbert and I set out today to explore a vertical shaft we found near the mountains while hunting a few weeks ago. He's convinced there's treasure to be found. I have my doubts, but Egbert is so excited about the prospects that I couldn't say no when he insisted we explore it. Our search wound up with more than we bargained for. I descended the shaft first, and Egbert followed after I reached the base. Egbert was about halfway down when the rope snapped. Poor guy landed hard, and it's obvious one of his legs broke. I'd have given him a harder time if the injury wasn't so grave, as I'd told him the rope he brought didn't look like it was in good condition. Now we're both stuck down here, and to make matters worse, Egbert can't move very far. Egbert got so desperate to find a way out, I think he started becoming delusional. He'd convinced himself that there were thin parts of the cavern walls which he could break through. He started swinging his sword around wildly, bashing it into the sides of the tunnels. I asked him to stop, but he told me to get lost. I became a bit concerned when I heard shaking noises from overhead in areas close to the vertical drop as he bashed away, so I steered clear of that end and Egbert. Eventually, his banging wound up causing part of the cavern to collapse, separating the two of us. I could barely hear him on the other side, so at least he's okay. He complained that he couldn't dislodge his sword as it had become stuck within the falling rubble. I know he's irate about it, but I feel relieved that he'll be unable to injure himself or cause any further cave-ins. I can't say I'm very happy with Egbert right now. If anyone discovers him at the bottom of the drop, because of his actions, it's going to take a long while for a team of people to remove the rubble and free me. Egbert is no longer replying to my calls through the cave-in. I've shouted until my voice went hoarse, and there's nothing but silence in response. Maybe he's been rescued and has people on the way, but I have a sinking feeling that is not the case. I ran out of food a while ago and can't find a source of water or a way out. There's a stone door with an odd rune carved into it, but it appears to be locked, and it's way too solid and heavy for me to break through. I've been forced to fight off several ferocious, large rats who seem to be mighty interested in me. At this point, I fear for my future because I'm starting to feel the effects of not having any food and am becoming extremely fatigued. The irony is, Egbert and I did find some treasure down here early on, but what good are riches now?
So yeah, that is, I guess that kind of gives you the tale of what happened to these two skeletons. Apparently they were friends. This guy here, don't know his name, but he's one of the two hunters. The skeleton at the very other end there, way back down there. Guy's name is Egbert. Kind of seems like he lost his mind, was trying to desperately get out. Caused a cave-in, which trapped this guy down over here, and he wound up... looks like the other guy just died at the other end of the tunnel, and Egbert, or I should say Egbert died at the other end of the tunnel, and his friend over here just died right here, because he couldn't get through the door, couldn't figure it out. So, kind of sad. Alright, so let's go ahead and examine the door.
Alright, the door's open now. It seems these tunnels continue on for quite a ways.
Alright, and that is the last quest that I've got so far. It's DoorDash, and I kind of hook you up with a bunch of stuff there. You get a couple of health potion vials, magic potions, some experience points, and some gold too. And yeah, so beyond here, there's not really any content. I do have a little bit of stuff there, but I don't have any quests that go beyond that point. So I am not going to go wandering off down here because, like I said, we're only about a third of the way through level 1. If I were to just kind of get a guess, but yeah, those tunnels go on for quite a ways, and there'll be a lot more stuff to do and puzzles to solve, combat, new monsters to fight, more lore to learn about. Yeah, I got a lot of plans for this, and this is just level 1, so there's going to be numerous levels, and there will be a couple of towns, and of course, you know, the big city itself that you'll have to discover. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody who really wants to like remain in the dark, but maybe I'll preface this video in the description to say like, hey, there's spoilers in here. If you really like RPGs and you just want to, you know, take a chance on this game, then don't watch this video because there will be some spoilers. But I'm not going to go any further than that. I think, like I said, I'm just going to release videos from this point forward, kind of just showing like small slices of things that I've done, like maybe some new puzzles that I put in place, without showing how to solve them or anything like that. I'll just show maybe the mechanics. Maybe I'll show like one puzzle, how to solve a puzzle. But past that point, you know, I'll just show some of the new stuff, and so that way you can kind of see the progress that I'm making without me spoiling everything. Because I don't want to, like I said, I want you guys to like, those of you who might be interested in playing this game, I want you to experience the game fresh, and I don't want me to like go spoiling everything for you. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough. I know it's a long one, but you know, I got a lot of content in here, and just wanted to kind of give you an idea of like, if you're into lore and storytelling and some combat and stuff like that, and exploration, then I think this game, you're really going to like this game. And so when I get it up on the Steam page, and I'm waiting to get the final character all done, you know, the main character. When the main character is all done, and I got it incorporated in the game, then I'm going to redo that opening that you saw with, you know, the new character instead, and then of course, you know, getting it incorporated in the game as well, and then I'll go ahead and open up the Steam page, and if you can wish list it at that point, I will definitely follow this video up, you know, later on down. Whenever I do get my Steam page live, I'm definitely going to make an announcement about that. So just keep your eyes peeled, and if you made it all the way to this point, I really appreciate it, and if you could like the video, it would really help out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more updates. I will still be putting out devlogs here and there just to kind of showcase some of the new stuff that I've put in place. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye.